Indian Museum in the heart of the cultural capital of India. One of the oldest museums with a rare collection of antiques and paintings. 3 years back, a young, honest scientist arrived at the seat of heritage. Sunil Upadhyay, age 35. A heritage conservation scientist at Kolkata's Indian Museum. A daring officer who his friends felt would rather compromise his life instead of compromising his duty. His honesty was often considered foolish by his colleagues. But for Sunil, it has been a way of life. Today, his family feels it could be his determination to follow the path of truth that resulted in his disappearance. Yes, Sunil Upadhyay is missing. He has been untraceable for over a month. But did his uncomfortable questions at the museum have anything to do with it? Was Sunil privy to incriminating developments? Has he been silenced?
Sunil Upadhyay, the preservation officer of Indian Museum in Kolkata, has been missing since 3rd of July. Over a month has gone by, but there is no trace of this young officer. In next 30 minutes, we will be looking into the details of this case of a mysterious disappearance of Sunil Upadhyay.
At the Upadhyay residence near Kolkata's Charu Market, Sunil's empty bed remains a painful reminder of his absence. His phone, which was once buzzing with calls and reminders, now lies silent. The scientist left his phone at home the day he went missing.
हम लोग जब बाद में आए तो पता लगा कि उसी दिन पता लगा कि 11 बजे रात में हमको यहाँ से बताया गया फ़ोन से कि ऐसे ऐसे हुआ है, शाम में 7 बजे निकले हैं, अभी तक नहीं आए। 11 बजे रात में हमको पता चला। तब से हम भी छटपटा रहे थे। दूसरे दिन सुबह वहाँ से ट्रेन पकड़ लिए घर से, 5 तारीख को यहाँ आ गए और उसके बाद जो है फिर अपना यहाँ से पुलिस ऑफिसर से मिलना, फिर लाल बाज़ार जाना, ये सब हुआ। हाँ, मोबाइल फ़ोन बता रहे हैं लोग कि घर में ही छोड़ के गए थे। जो यहाँ पर रहते हैं वो बताया कि मोबाइल फ़ोन घर पे था, साइलेंट था।
His laptop, one of his most prized possessions, lies untouched since the day Sunil left home. Working on this computer after work was almost a daily ritual for the conservationist. Now it's agonizing for the family to even steal a look at it.
कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है। हम लोग परसों डीसी साहब को भी मिल के आए थे। वो भी कह रहे हैं हम लोग ट्रेस कर रहे हैं, बट अभी कोई ऐसा सुराग नहीं है जो कुछ बता पाए। तो अभी तक कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है, देयर इज नो इन्फॉर्मेशन। और वो डीसी साहब का कहना है कि हम इसको सर्च करके आपको रिजल्ट ज़रूर देंगे, बट अब मुझे लगता है टाइम बहुत बीत गया है। अभी स्टिल मीन्स वो वहीं पे हैं जहाँ पे थे स्टार्टिंग। तो अभी कुछ नहीं पता चला है। हम लोग तो बहुत परेशान हैं। अब हम लोग रहते रहते यहाँ पे 1 महीने 6-7 दिन और हो गया। अब मतलब वी आर फीलिंग वेरी मच टायर्ड ड्यू टू दिस कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस। तो कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा हम लोग क्या करें। तो अभी कोई पता नहीं चला सब।
Rajesh was the last person who saw Sunil leave home for a walk to Dhakuria Lake. He mentioned nothing in particular. It was just another day after work, and Sunil casually mentioned he needed some air. That he left his phone behind at home did not bother his family then. It has been over 30 days since that day.
इंडियन म्यूजियम में बहुत गोलमाल है। इंडियन म्यूजियम में अभी जो हम लोगों को पता चल रहा है धीमे धीमे करके, वो सुनील के पास बहुत सारी इंक्वायरी भी उसको दे रखी थी, अपार्ट फ्रॉम हिज प्रिजर्वेशन वर्क। कंजर्वेशन वर्क के अलावा बहुत ढेर सारा काम दे रखा था, जिसको जैसे इंक्वायरी करना, एक इंक्वायरी थी, कुछ कमेटी थी उसको हैंडल करना, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क उसको दे रखा था। तो ऐसे में वो स्ट्रिक्ट होना उसका नुकसानदायक है। ऐसे काम दे रखे हैं, उनमें उसकी स्ट्रिक्टनेस से बहुत से लोगों को नुकसान हो सकता है या उनको प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है। तो हम लोगों को अब ये डाउट लगने लगा कोई इसकी वजह से किसी ने कुछ किया तो नहीं ऐसा। अभी ये इसकी वजह से हम लोगों को बहुत डर भी लग रहा है कि ये डेंजरस है, मतलब अगर ऐसा कुछ हुआ तो बहुत डेंजरस हो सकता है।
Sunil Upadhyay was an achiever. From Delhi University to Chicago, he strived to be the best at his profession, and on most occasions successfully achieved his goals. So when he decided to take up a job in Kolkata, the Upadhyayas were elated. But ever since he joined work at the Indian Museum, the family had noticed something unusual about his behavior. He appeared disturbed, even unhappy.
Sunil was allegedly made a scapegoat in the case of damage to the Lion Capital during renovation. He was also upset with some officers of Indian Museum as they were being entrusted with duties they were not fit for. His family members allege this could be reasons behind Sunil's disappearance, but museum authorities deny all the charges, claiming they have nothing to do with the disappearance of Sunil Upadhyay.
Was there any kind of inquiry that was pending against him, because the reports are suggesting that he had raised his voice against some corruption charges here in Indian Museum?
No, not really. But one more thing, that as the Supreme Court takes up this case, it's better not to comment anything in this present circumstances.
But I just want to ask you, was there any kind of whistle blowing in a sense that he did here in Indian Museum?
As I said, no comments in this regard, as the Supreme Court already takes up this case.
Sunil is said to have been more than vocal about the irregularities at the museum. He had several run-ins with the top officers. But despite their snub, he stood his ground.
The advice of the Board of Trustees. They should not take any decision without taking the advice of the Board of Trustees.
Do they take decisions?
No, not at all. At least in my capacity, I can assure you that I have not been consulted at any stage during this period. And I am extremely unhappy with the performance of the director and security officer.
His colleagues say he had been made a scapegoat in a recent scandal, the Lion Capital case. A sculpture of high value was destroyed because of manhandling. But Sunil saw a larger plot at play.
They don't have any trained personnel and they don't know how to handle the objects. That is the main problem. They outsource some people who are not properly trained, and they simply take the risk of handling the objects, which is absolutely improper and is not correct. And as a result, the Lion Capital has been damaged during the transportation.
The allegations were very serious, so our team decided to get the other side of the story. But at the Indian Museum, our crew was stopped.
আমাদের মিডিয়া স্পোকপারসন শাইন বটে इनको शाइन बटे जी रूमটা দেখি শাইন শুনুন না অ্যাকচুয়ালি যে আপনি দেখেন ওই কি কথা বলছেন এই কথা
We found no answers. The secrets remained well within the white walls of the Indian Museum.
ডিরেক্টর সাহেব কি দেখা করবেন? হ্যাঁ,
যা বলার শাইন বাবু
না উনি তো বলেছেন যা বলার, একটু ডিরেক্টর সাহেবের সঙ্গে কথা বলতে চাইছিলাম।
তো মানে উনি শাইন বাবুকে দায়িত্ব দিয়েছেন।
হ্যাঁ, সে তো যা বলেন উনি বলেছেন, একটু ওনার সঙ্গে একটু দেখা করা যাবে না? পরে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওই সুনীল উপাধ্যায় যে আপনাদের প্রেজেন্টেশন অফিসার ছিলেন, ওই ব্যাপারটা একটুখানি ওনার সঙ্গে একটু কথা বলতে চাইছিলাম।
But there was someone else too who believed there was more to the missing Sunil mystery. RTI activist Parthasarthi had arrived at the museum while looking for a film on Sikkim. Soon Partha found himself staring at a mega web of deceit. The nation's biggest treasure trove had turned into a matter of shame.
Actually, I'm willing to tell about missing. Missing मतलब सिर्फ तो कोई living person is not only missing, living and unliving, like Buddha Murti also missing. A film like Sikkim, directed by director Raja Das Gupta. So that film also missing. So all are missing is now is heritage of our museum. It's becoming a heritage of our museum. Missing is itself becoming a heritage. ये एक ऐतिह्य हो गया था कि missing is missing, missing is missing, missing is missing. Human being missing, Buddha Murti missing, एक lion उसका भी broken हो गया.
Kolkata police has recorded the statements of a number of employees of Indian Museum but could not get any strong evidence against them as yet. They're not ruling out any possibilities. In a bid to get a lead in this case, they're exploring all the angles, including his call details, his personal life, family background, health condition, and his spiritual ambition.
Soon it became clear that Sunil was investigating a money laundering racket. So was that the reason for his disappearance? Did he uncover something that would embarrass his bosses? For many, like his family and friends, the link was obvious. But there are no real answers yet. While a
Dr. Sunil Upadhyay, rank 1 officer from the Indian Museum in Kolkata, suddenly, mysteriously goes missing from 3rd July. Over a month now, there seems to be no leads about his whereabouts. It's only his friends from this Jubilee Hall where Dr. Sunil Upadhyay was staying while he was pursuing his PhD in chemistry who have gotten together to try and bring to fore this entire concern that where is Dr. Sunil Upadhyay. It's his friends who have been relentlessly striving to try and find out that what happened to Dr. Sunil Upadhyay. How could a rank 1 officer from the Indian Museum, Kolkata, suddenly mysteriously go missing?
These corridors of Jubilee Hall in Delhi University were witness to Sunil's diligence. The countless hours he spent wandering in these lanes, a book in hand, while pursuing his PhD in chemistry. Today his batchmates are shocked beyond belief. There is little doubt that their friend paid a heavy price for his crusade.
This tells about the sorry state of affairs in this country actually. I am so shocked being a lawyer myself, and you know that it is now an open secret. Almost everybody knows. A number of newspaper cuttings have been, supplied with, a number of, television items have been there, and everybody, I have few friends who used to give him call on a regular basis, and there is one person who even gave him a call 2 days before he was missing. And this guy says that his hunch is that he has been eliminated. So for a guy who just talked 2 days prior to that, disappearance of this guy, to say that it is his hunch because he belonged to the same department, everything, it is a sorry state of affairs. I do not know a central government class 1 officer goes missing and the central government is not taking. I do not know why his fellow workers are not coming ahead. Why is this? We are falling back to the student days.
In fact, the shoddy pace of investigation and the reluctance of the authorities to part with information has confirmed their worst fears.
I'm right now inside Jubilee Hall in Delhi University, exactly where Dr. Sunil Upadhyay was pursuing his PhD in chemistry. I'm right now on the same floor where Dr. Sunil Upadhyay was living in this room number 78. And I have with me Dr. Mihir Kumar Jha, who would be a fellow resident at Jubilee Hall, who would perhaps tell us better about Sunil Upadhyay. So how do you remember Dr. Sunil Upadhyay from the time that you were living over here as a student which takes you back so many years?
I have fondest memories of a man, I mean a friend par excellence, an idealist non-pareil, and a first-rate scholar. He was fondly known as, we would always call him Kaviji or Vidyarthiji. He was one ardent nationalist. And most of all, I remember a lot of friendly banterings that happened. I was from Department of History, and he would, chemistry lab was his second home. But the nation has stopped making people of his kind. He was one of his kind. He was the only person. I have almost always lived in hostels all my life.
And your room was also at the end of
10 meters apart. And I have never met a person who so much believed in the innate goodness of people that he never locked the doors to this room. We never had to ask him that we need to use your room for whatever little things we needed from. He would say that, yeah, aapka room hai, aapko jo karna hai kijiye. You don't need to seek our permission. Not that no valuables were kept in his room. And a lot of fig leaf smoke screen is being bandied about that maybe it's his spiritualism that he has renounced the world or something. All I saw in all of 3 years between, say, December 2003 and December 2006 until about the time I was here, I just saw him take a quick bath, fold his hands, and that was so much for his spiritualism. He was not spiritual in the sense that he would follow rituals and the like. In fact, all he took from Vivekananda was his karma yoga. He was a karma yogi in a true sense of word.
Once convinced, Sunil's batchmates have begun their own fight. This candlelight march from Jubilee Hall to Delhi University's arts faculty is just one of the steps to push for the truth.
It's more than 1 month, as you said, and we know that the government should have taken prompt action because it's a matter of a class 1 officer as well as a human being also. If someone is missing suddenly who is holding such a prestigious position, the government should have come very rapidly and they should have discovered the facts. But no, nothing has been done. Even the FIR was registered after a long time. So it's a very much, apathy of the state for a person who is, we don't know about him right now.
I know that he was not well, but I never realized that one day he will disappear suddenly. And then I talked to his office fellow Sanjeev and others, and I said that, do you think there is a criminal angle? Because by that time it was 1 week. 1 week after his disappearance, I talked to few Sanjeev Singh, who was there posted, I think, a few months before in Calcutta National Museum, and I asked him that what criminal angle or what kind of thing you are anticipating in Sunil's disappearance. And then we tried to find out from other sources and find out that there is a lot of irregularities which are going on. And if I am not wrong, Sunil was in charge for some day, because National Museum has once I talked to him and I asked him about his director. When I was in National Museum, he said that National Museum administration means there are some kind of local problem and they are not supporting any director who is coming. So mostly directors were not staying for a longer time, and one promotee person was a director for a long time. Although he was not supposed to be the director, but he was director through promotion. And he said people from other parts of country, because National Museum is a central department.
In fact, the most disappointing part has been the attitude of the Calcutta police after Mr. Upadhyay disappeared. Because if a person is missing for more than 24 hours, you must convert the missing report into FIR. Nothing was done. This is unheard of, not even after 48 hours. And you'll be shocked to know that not even after a week, not even after 14 days. It was only on the 15th day when his elder brother talked to me. I begged him to file an FIR. He went to the police station, gave a written application. Please file an FIR. I have already filed a missing report. My brother is missing. That the police realized, oh, an FIR is also required to be filed. So, I mean, this is shocking for any person who is involved into legal necessities. This is absolutely shocking.
To mount pressure, Sunil's colleagues have also begun an online campaign.
Initially, Sunil's cousin brother and his wife had thought Sunil had come for a walk in this Dhakuria lake. But when it was past 10 o'clock and he did not return home, they got worried and came here to search for him, but could not find him. They lodged a missing diary with Kolkata police. Later, their friends in Delhi raised the alarm through a Facebook page search for whistleblower Dr. Sunil Upadhyay. And finally, they approach the door of Supreme Court, filing a habeas corpus.
It was possibly after these efforts that the Supreme Court pulled up the CBI and the West Bengal government, giving them a deadline. But will they deliver? Are the investigators really willing to look beyond the obvious and uncover the larger nexus and track down Sunil? Back in Kolkata, the atmosphere is grim. The fear of losing Sunil, the fear of not being able to see him again, has been tormenting this family. For a month now, a sense of emptiness has enveloped the museum officer's home. Unanswered questions, anguish echoing in the space. For this family's sake and for the search of truth, this government needs to find out what really happened to Sunil Upadhyay.